Hi, my name's Duncan Cash and I'm really pleased to introduce you to the all-new 10th generation of Honda Civic. Civic has been a global success since its first introduction in 1973, and for this generation I think you'll agree it looks fantastic. We have some sleek lines, we've got two brand new turbocharged Earth Dreams engines, and we're going to take you through a lot of this technology as we wander from the front of the car through to the back. Now, first thing we're going to notice about the new Civic is its low, wide stance. This particular model is a sport, but they all share the same height and width as each other. Another thing that is common to all Civics is this little panel down here. And behind that is the radar, which is responsible for collision mitigation braking system and also intelligent adaptive cruise control. Now, cars fitted with automatic transmission also benefit from a new function called low speed follow. And what this will do is extend the range of adaptive cruise control, and it can potentially take the customer down to 0 kilometers an hour without needing to touch the brake, and it can accelerate them back up again without touching the throttle. So more about that later in the module. Further along, underneath the number plate there, you'll see a large aperture. That's where the air is going to rush through to cool the intercooler, because our two new engines, the 3-cylindered 1 litre and also the 4-cylindered 1.5 litre, both have turbochargers and they both have VTEC as well. So that's going to really maximise the amount of potential we can get out of the engines. Just above the number plate we have our parking sensors on both sides. These are flush mounted, as we've seen on CR-V, and that gives it a little bit extra good looks and styling, as do these headlights, which not only have LED elements in the headlight but also daytime running light and the indicators as well. This car has global opening, so using the remote control we can wind down the windows and roll back the sunroof on this car over the top of the roof line. And then when it comes to locking the car, simply use the lock button, hold it for a second time, and it will wind the windows up and of course put the sunroof back into place. At the front of the car we can now see this illuminated side marker. That is going to improve the visibility of your car to other road users, and safety is really important to us here at Honda. So what we've done, in the centre of our acoustic glass, which is going to keep the cabin quieter for customers, we've retained our multi-purpose camera. And this multi-purpose camera is still responsible for traffic sign recognition, things like high beam support system, lane departure warning. But it also is now responsible for road departure mitigation, a brand new feature to us. Now, you'll find out more later in the module, but what it will do for a customer is try and keep them safer on the road in highways and motorway situations. Moving slightly further back, you may notice that the A-pillars are slightly more slender than we've had before. What we've done is reduce the width of them, and this is to give a better field of vision for both driver and passenger. Now, although we can't see the chassis, it's 52% stronger than previous Civic, and it's 16% lighter. So safety on this car is going to be phenomenal, and also that 16% lighter chassis is going to help us with performance as well. So a win-win situation. Now, on this car you'll notice we've got the front and the rear under bumper spoilers along with this side skirt, because it's a sport model. If a customer goes for a non-sport model, these items wouldn't be on there, but what they can go for is either the orange line or the black line. With the black line they would get a front and side skirt along with a rear diffuser and also a replacement mirror cap here in black. If they go for the orange line, they will have all of these items in orange plus interior panels as well. Now, access to the rear for passengers is quite large there, so easy for them to get inside the car. If we're carrying things rather than people, it's very easy just to fold the seat down, and from the trunk view that gives us an almost flat floor. When we're folding the seat back into position, you don't need to worry about catching the seat belt because it's nicely to the side of where this mechanism fits. And moving further back, we've now got multi-link rear suspension. This is going to give the customer better handling, ride comfort, and that sporty and agile feeling as well. It's easy to see from the side of the car how air will flow over this. So the coefficient of drag has actually been improved by 12% over and above the previous generation Civic. So that's going to be good for performance, also for wind noise and equally emissions and fuel consumption. Now, those two spoilers at the back will allow air to flow over the top of them and underneath both of them. This gives us a really good balance between a low coefficient of drag and also high speed stability. You'll notice from the back of the car, we've got this low wide stance that we saw at the front, echoed through to the back. This being a sport model, we can see the twin chrome tailpipes there, which just give it that little bit extra appeal to that sporty customer. For a non-sport grade, you'll have more discreet tailpipes, which will be hidden in front of the bumper. Also, the tail lights, they have a number of LEDs inside them, keeping them nice and bright, making you visible on the road. And when we open the tailgate, you'll notice how large the trunk area is. This is class leading. It's 488 litres, and on a non-sport model, you'd even get extra storage under the floor for those items you want to keep safe or just hidden out of the way. Another first for Civic is this cassette style tonneau cover. So in normal situations, you probably just leave it in place because there's a really big distance between these 2 points here so that most items will fit in and the customer doesn't need to move around with the tonneau. However, should you need to retract it, it's really, really simple. And whether you're left or right-handed, it's very, very easy just to swap that over from one side to the other. And again, whether you're left or right-handed, we have 2 sets of handles on here, which you can either pull down or push down. And as we move around to the driver's side, you'll notice for the very first time on a petrol, we have capless refuelling. So that's going to save customers time, and also it's going to make it easier for them at the refuelling stations. If your Civic comes with leather upholstery, you'll also get heated rear seat bases, another first for us on Civic. Okay, now we're inside the car, you'll notice this new seat material and also the extra details we've put in at the top of the backrest and also the front of the seat base here, which have this carbon theme running through them. And on the sport model, it also echoes through nicely to this trim that sits inside the dashboard here. Further along from that inlay, we've got the Connect screen. Now there are 2 versions of Connect again, with and without navigation. But both of them will benefit from Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which allow you to have certain features of your phone displayed on the screen while you're driving. But you'll learn more about that later in the module. In the meters for the driver, there are 2 options here. The entry-level models will have the multi-information display to give you items such as traffic sign recognition, miles per gallon, fuel range left. And on the higher grades, such as this one, it has a driver information interface. And what that will do for us is have all of those previous features we mentioned, but in the addition, it will transfer some highlighted information from the Connect screen straight in front of you, such as turn-by-turn signals for satellite navigation, keeping your eyes more focused straight ahead when you're driving to keep you safer on the roads. As we move underneath the Connect unit, we've got a wireless charging pad here. So providing your phone supports it while you're driving along, phone just literally sits on there and it will charge up. Very, very simple, nice little attention to detail there. This car is continuously variable transmission, as you can see here by the lever, and either side of it we've got some electronic buttons. Some of them will be familiar to you. So electronic parking brake, like HRV and NSX, along with brake hold. So you press this at the start of your journey and never need to apply the parking brake yourself. Absolutely brilliant feature. On the right hand side, we've got this button here for adaptive dampers. Not all versions will get this, but the Sport does, and it actually now works on all 4 corners. So on previous Civic, it was just on the rear axle of Civic Tourer and they worked as a pair. These are now independent on all 4 corners, much like Type R. We mentioned that by having the electronic parking brake, it frees up a lot of space for us. So inside this centre console, we've got an adjustable set of cup holders there. Directly underneath, we have a large cup holder base, USB charging points. It's adjustable to get larger items in there as well. So I think you'll agree, inside, attention to detail is fantastic. I'll join you outside the front of the car. So from the front to the back and everything in between, I think you'll agree this car is everything our customers will be hoping for. Remember, that's new engines and transmissions, a fantastic safety package across the range of cars, and improvements to the suspension. On the inside of the car, we have updates to the Connect system, and also the meters inside will give the driver even more information while they're driving. So for Conquest customers and loyal customers, they're going to really enjoy their test drives, and then their ownership of the new 2017 Civic.